Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Should you buy the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus in 2023 or the other S20 series phones like the regular S20 or the S20 Ultra, which of course needs a separate video for that. So should you still buy one? How is it holding up after 3 years? We will find out in this video. So the Galaxy S20 Plus was released in March 2020 along with its brothers, the smaller Galaxy S20 and the big boy S20 Ultra, and also the 5G variant, which is actually the same phone with 5G, and the weight of the 5G phone is slightly more, like 2 grams heavier than the 4G S20 Plus. So it's like in between the smaller one and the big boy Ultra. And these phones were the main flagship devices from Samsung for 2020, which means that they were fully loaded with features and specs. First of all, speaking of the design, the Galaxy S20 Plus has a very nice design. It is a bit tall and narrow, slightly thin and slightly curved both at front and back, which make it very nicely fit in the hand, although it is a bit slippery without a case, but it is super comfortable to hold. Another thing which I liked a lot at the time of the launch of this phone was the color options for the S20 Plus. It is available in 6 nice colors called the Cosmic Black, Cosmic Gray, Aura Red and Blue, Cloud White and this Cloud Blue, and all these colors are just gorgeous. It is made up of aluminum and a very strong Gorilla Glass 6 on the back and front, so it is rock solid and it still has pretty much no issues with durability. The weight distribution is perfect. It is 186 grams for the S20 Plus while 188 grams for the 5G variant, but it feels very lightweight in the hand. Overall, this design is very clean, like there is nothing on the left side of the phone, and the power and volume keys are placed at a reachable point. The design of the phone doesn't look old by any means, although some people might say that this design is similar to the mid-range Samsung phones like the Galaxy A series from the 2020, the A51 or the A31, which is true, but that phones are made up of plastic and just don't look that premium like the S20 Plus. So the design wise, it is easily recommended because it is still new and will keep going for next few years, and also it is tall, slim and sleek, very solid and with beautiful colors. Coming to the screen of the phone, it has a very bright 6.7 inches dynamic AMOLED HDR10 Plus panel, which is 1440p 120Hz with 525 ppi, and it has a peak brightness of 1200 nits outdoor. And apart from that, you guys know about the Samsung screens, which are very sharp and colorful with deep blacks and high contrast, and this screen is just no exception. It is almost bezel-less with over 90% screen to body ratio and has a small punch hole for the selfie camera. The thin bezels may contribute in unwanted touch inputs, especially from the sides, but that depends from person to person. In my case, I didn't notice much, and a case will also be helpful, but personally I like the curved screens. Another thing to mention is that the 120Hz is only supported with 1080p, as it drains a substantial amount of battery when turned on, especially this Exynos variant. And let's talk about the software and performance. This phone is just a powerhouse. It has a Snapdragon 865 chipset, 7nm architecture with 8 gigs of RAM for the S20 Plus while 12 gigabytes of RAM for the 5G variant, and it is still running pretty good even after 3 years. And surprisingly, the Exynos 990 is also not bad at all, except the battery life, which I will talk about in a second. So this processor is just killing every task you throw on it. I mean, it is super fast and smooth. Obviously, first, it is a flagship processor. Second, it is not that much old yet, so there is no lag or stutter, and for now there is just nothing to worry about in terms of speed. And I think in coming few years it will be just fine for most of the normal users, but of course it is steadily getting old, and heavy use like gaming or other heavy users might be affected in the upcoming years. So if you are a normal user, you can easily consider this phone as your daily driver. And for now, it is updated to Android 13 One UI 5, which is the latest, and it is pretty smooth and feature packed, but unfortunately it's not getting the Android 14, but Android 13 will also be okay for at least a year or two or maybe more. So keep in mind this is the last major software update for the Galaxy S20 Plus. Speaking of the camera, which was of course the main selling feature for the S20 series. So it has 3 lenses, a 12 megapixels f1.8 main lens, 64 megapixels telephoto lens with 1x optical zoom. Both lenses have OIS and dual pixel phase detection autofocus, which is very fast, and 12 megapixels f2.2 120 degree wide angle lens, 0.3 megapixels time of flight sensor for depth sensing, which is used for accurate bokeh effect in photos or video. And I'm very impressed by this camera system, especially after the Android 13 update. Photos taken with this camera combined with software optimization come out very impressive. I mean, there's nothing to say about the photo quality. Low light photos are also very nice. Portrait shots are very accurate, especially with Android 13. Video quality is also very improved. It can shoot 8K video, but that's not very satisfactory. Yeah, but it is capable of shooting 8K video. So overall, this camera system is still a beast, and although it cannot beat the newer phones, but it definitely gives strong competition to other 2020 phones. Once you see the photos from this camera in real life, you will understand what I'm saying. Now let's talk battery life. So it has 4500 milliamps battery, which is a huge cell, and it gets me through the day without a charger with 3 to 4 hours of screen on time. And this is the Exynos variant, which some people might complain about the battery life, because you know the Exynos chipset is always been lagging behind in terms of battery life, but it's still quite enough for most users. The Snapdragon variants will obviously have better battery experience. It also charges quite fast with 25 watt wired charging and 15 watt wireless charging, and also 4.5 watt reverse wireless charging for your smartwatch or your wireless earbuds. So in terms of battery life, it is up to the user, and you also have the Snapdragon option for overall good battery experience. Last but not least, speaking of the price, this phone was launched with a price of $1,200, but now you can get between $200 to $300 price range on Amazon or eBay, or maybe less than $200 or more than $300 depending on what condition you are getting the phone. And I think it's a pretty good value for the money because it has a great camera, great performance, a gorgeous screen, decent battery life, and much more. So that's all about the Galaxy S20 Plus 5G, and let me know in the comments below if you are using a Galaxy S20 Plus and what is your experience with this phone, and also let me know which phone do you want me to review in the next video. I will see you in the next one.